All right, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises due to the Most High. And this is yet another story of institutionalized racism against a college football student at Aurora University in Aurora, Illinois. And as you watch this video, realize that this is in the year 2025. This is not 1960, and these are not 80-year-old white women with Confederate flags. These are 18 and 19-year-old college students born after the 21st century who are exhibiting this type of behavior. This video is fair use for literary and commentary purposes only. Just watch.
Let's go, Deuce. Let's go, Deuce.
A touchdown that made his dad cheer. A moment that felt like a beginning.
Money!
He's 18 now, but Brook Williams has worked for a shot at college ball since he was 5. The Plainfield native chose Aurora University, 30 minutes from home, for the field and the feel.
I went on a visit, I think in like December, and I just really like the culture, and I just like the facilities and the campus, really.
Weeks into his first semester, he says that feeling changed and the locker room turned hostile.
At first, they had made some N-word comments, and I was just like shocked and like appalled by it. And then after that, shortly, he said, another guy said, why are you sleeping here? Don't you guys sleep in trees?
And he was the only black player in that room. He says a George Floyd reference followed, and all he could see was the scene the world can't unsee. Floyd dying under an officer's knee, and fear set in.
Your 6'3" sentence to a 5'7", that's intimidating.
As a mother, I was devastated, to say the least. Our whole family has been affected by this.
Brook's mom, Aisha, says reporting it felt like a second fight. She pushed for a formal investigation.
I didn't give up. I was relentless. Emailed the president, the vice president, everybody. Every single day, they would give me no answers. Next day, I'm emailing again, calling to the school, emailing, even the coach. I emailed him as well. And so finally, the vice president scheduled a meeting with us, and we went and sat down with her and the coach, my husband and my son.
The school's investigation found 2 players created a hostile environment based on race. Brook says they kept playing while that investigation was going on. Their initial punishment, suspended from the team and put on disciplinary probation. But after lawyers got involved in an appeal, that changed. They take racial sensitivity training and be back on the field next January. Aisha says a meeting with the coach made it worse. That coach, former NFL player Don Beebe, a Super Bowl winner with the Packers, told them he knew the families of the players accused.
The words that he spoke in front of us and the vice president, I used to be in the NFL. I had black friends. Me and my black friends told racist jokes. He said, I want to forgive the kids like Jesus forgave David for being a murderer.
Brook never got an apology, not from the players, not from the coach. She says the coach stopped speaking to him in film sessions, even skipped his plays on screen. That, he says, was the moment he knew he couldn't stay.
When we went to get my shoulder pads and my girdle and everything in there, a bunch of stuff was missing. My pads was missing. The only thing that was really left was my cleats and my girdle. A bunch of my gloves, my mouthpieces, my towels, they were all gone.
2 weeks later, a friend texted him these photos. Everything was back in his locker. By then, Brook had already decided to leave, losing his $60,000 scholarship and his peace of mind.
Honestly, it was hurtful because I've been working so hard. I saved a bunch of money to go to school, and now I'm stuck working again. I can't go back to school until January, and I don't know where I want to go.
The university sent us a statement. It says it takes reports seriously, and federal law limits what it can share. It says every report is reviewed and action follows if there's a violation. The Williams family read it themselves.
The report is carefully reviewed, lies, appropriate, never policy. Yeah. He doesn't feel valued or supported.
Brooklyn says the process left him with one question.
Really, it's just like, am I enough? Like, what did I do to deserve this?
It's a question past students of color have had. A 1987 Chicago Tribune article describes similar racial tensions at Aurora University, from KKK graffiti to fear in dorms. 4 decades later and across the country, race-based harassment reports on campuses remain among the top categories of civil rights complaints. The FBI tracked more than 11,000 hate crimes in 2024, most tied to race. The Williams family says it's shocking, but they're not shocked.
Several of his teammates have vocalized that they're scared to say anything. Caucasian students, by the way. And that's why they didn't speak up for him when he was being antagonized and harassed that night. So I'm not surprised. What we allow will continue, so.
For other families, this is about more than one team or one university. Experts say ask colleges how they handle discrimination, what training teams receive, and how the school ensures safety after a report. All things Brook's dad, Jerry, wondered. He stayed quiet, a silent support close by, until he couldn't anymore.
If you could speak directly to Aurora's president and board, what would you say?
Listen to this young black man. I'm not here to tell you how far to go as far as pushing or disciplining these kids, but it has to be more than just a suspension to the end of this football season or January. Now you got these kids that went through this situation. They appealed it.
All right. And you see the testimony from the young man and his mother and father. And a few things stuck out to me about that interview. Now, mind you, this happened this year. Aurora, Illinois is a town that only has about 10% black people. And the university itself only has about 7%. Now, he said that they started out with using references of the N-word, him having to sleep in trees, i.e. the gorilla epitaph, and also ties to George Floyd. And so he was shocked and appalled. And, you know, even his mother said she was devastated. Now, because I've studied this thing, I don't know how people can be devastated, especially when you're going into predominantly white environments like this, predominantly white institutions, as they called them. Nevertheless, they emailed the president, they emailed the vice president, and they emailed the coach. A lot of the time to no avail. Now, they finally got back with the lady, and the wording that they use is kind of a cover-up as well. Two players created a hostile environment. What does that mean? You know, a hostile environment could be setting someone's house on fire. That's a hostile environment. So, you know, the wording that they actually use is once again a cover-up for their racist behavior and their racist ideology. These players were suspended from the team. However, after lawyers got involved, that meaning those rich white boys went and got some lawyers and said, no, my son is allowed to use racial discrimination at the behest of the university. My son is allowed to be racist. You don't tell my son he can't be racist. Who is this N-word? That's what they basically did. That's what happened, and these guys were immediately put back on the team. First of all, they played while the suspension was ongoing. That's another slap in the face. You know what I mean? They played while the investigation was ongoing. That's another slap in the face. And then they got back on the team. Now, when they met with the coach, now the coach is former Buffalo Bills player Don Beebe. Now, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, allegedly, reportedly, he may have had some incidents of racial insensitivity, and that's, I'll put that at racial insensitivity in quotation marks during his time in the league or thereafter. Now, I'm not sure, but the first how you know that people are racist is they use this right here. Well, I know black families, so I have black friends, not friends who are black, but black friends, and it don't even matter. Like any, we use racial jokes all the time, but this is not that time of the era, and these are not friends that you can use that joke around. Did you ask him, was he comfortable with that, with the N-word references? Like, so people try to use their own experiences to justify racism in other uh in other instances. And this is one of the old age defenses of racism. They use Christianity or the Bible to justify allowing people to get away with racism. Oh, I'm trying to forgive them like Jesus forgave David for being a murderer. Like that is the go-to of racism, white supremacy, Christian white nationalism. Oh yeah, forgive us for being racist. God forgives us for being racist. You should too. And allow us to keep being racist towards you. Remember, slaves, be obedient to your masters, or obey the laws on earth, or that type of ideology or theology that allows people to feel comfortable, to feel righteous in their racism, right? And so then after he makes the complaint, the age-old retaliation comes in to play. They stop speaking to him. They skipped his plays in the film. And, then it goes on to the mental aspect of what was going on. He goes there, and then now, his pads are missing. His girdle is missing. His helmet is missing. Basically, they're playing games with him. Okay, well, you're not going to be here. But then after he decides to quit, they put all the stuff back. Oh, no, we didn't do anything to him. He quit on his own. Those are the mental games that the racist people play. Now, and as a result of that, he lost his $60,000 a year scholarship. And he's now trying to find a way to get back in a better school. Now, the school put out that blanket report talking about we take reports seriously, and federal law prohibits what we can say, and we want him to feel valued and supported. As the mother said, he doesn't feel valued and supported. Nevertheless, these universities or the police departments, they always put out these blanket statements saying, okay, well, we can't say too much in order to be able to not condemn the racism and, not condemn the proponents of that racism. But, nevertheless, it came out that this university, almost 40 years ago, there was a study that this university was also the subject of more racial insensitivity, some KKK, affiliation, and they don't know how to handle it. Now they're talking about this campus has been the target of civil rights, and civil rights violations have been found around colleges across the nation. These are not civil rights violations. Let me just say that we've gotten off track. These are human right violations. Now, what we see is not civil rights violations. These are crimes against humanity, or war crimes, as someone put it. So we have to stop thinking on a smaller level, because how can we expect someone who has shown themselves to be uncivil to treat us civilly, under their laws? So this is something that, we can't even, when they brought the situation to them, they immediately brought their laws into play. Well, we're going to appeal it. We're going to let all this legal mumbo jumbo is once again a system of racism, white supremacy. The white people get what they want, and the black people have to leave the university and lose their scholarships because they refuse to be treated less than human, not less than civil, but less than human. And so, this situation is an example of, everybody who thinks racism is back in the 60s and old white men waving Confederate flags and MAGA hats. What about these 18, 19-year-old students exhibiting that behavior? And if it has not went anywhere and this long, where is it going? For all of my black people who say we have made such racial strides, how? when this behavior still permeates. And y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Once again, I just came across this article earlier this week, and this was just, once again, something I've been saying all the while. Once we've already seen the situation with Trey Reed and how down at Delta State University, how he was basically lynched and no one has said a word about it. And they're trying to cover that up as well because rich white students probably did so. But once again, y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings. Scripture says all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news throw mud in it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune into Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune into Telehouse Publishing. Who keep the people informed? Stories abroad from literary work where the narrative's wrong. The research is always on point, the commentary is hard. It's Rich Teller raising the bar. Follow along, shout out to FBA, still FTP. Big up in FAC and all my black families. There's three sides to all stories. Which one you gon' believe? We run down on the false prophets when they come to deceive. 100% urban world news, current events. We don't like them lies. Media is biased, cause we got God beside us. Ladies and gents is power. If you don't know by now, look around me, the darkest hours. Cops squeezing hammers, cause they don't understand us. We stop and freeze with our hands and kill us off like cancer. Don't speculate before the facts on the case. Telehouse set them straight by smoking rich investigators. You watching Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news don't mud it in. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune into Telehouse Publishing. Telehouse Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it, you should tune into Telehouse Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long.